Ashley, welcome. How was your trip to Italy?
It was fantastic.
You went all by yourself.
I was, yes. It was great. I loved it. Had a lot of wine, as you mentioned, some whites, and a lot of food, which was great.
So what caused you to go to Italy alone? You don't like people?
Maybe I just have no friends, Rich.
Oh, okay.
So, no, there was an opportunity with work, and it was an easy way for me to go away and enjoy some me time and enjoy the nice weather that they're still having.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good stuff, good stuff. Well, thank you for being here. So you, last year, or this year I should say, right now you're sitting at about 156,000 from one strategic alliance.
Yes.
Okay? And I think as we discuss this, we should also keep in mind there's many possibilities of strategic alliances, right? Because, we got mortgage people, we've got stagers, we've got building inspectors, we've got trades list, all the people that, it could be anybody that does home repairs, anything at all, could be a partner. Make sense?
Definitely.
So take us through the process. So how did you develop this relationship? What does it look like? How often do you communicate? The whole deal. So everybody, if they were interested in it, they could do the same thing.
Yeah, so I would say the most important step for me was finding someone that I had commonalities with, someone that was like-minded to me, someone that I enjoyed talking to on a fairly daily or weekly basis.
Yeah.
I think in business, you should really focus on being friends with your clients and building relationships that last, which is what we always talk about here at RRI. So for me, whatever relationship that I'm looking to build, whether it's with clients or tradespeople, et cetera, you should try and build a relationship that is lasting for you and someone that you enjoy interacting with.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I did with my mortgage broker was I met someone at a charity poker tournament. We instantly clicked, and from there it was just like, I would love to work with you. Let's create a business plan. Let's try and find ways that we can benefit each other. And yeah, it's been great ever since.
So really what you did was you created a friendship.
Yes.
Right. And I think that's probably one of the most important things. And sort of pre-interview, we talked about this, is that if you're going to develop a strategic alliance, you don't need to do it fast. You got to find that right person that really becomes a friend.
Yeah, and
right?
For me, it took me, I guess, I've been in real estate now for 6 years. I met her about 2 years ago. And it took me a while to find someone. I went through other mortgage brokers. I've worked with very professional, amazing mortgage brokers in the past, but they weren't sending me leads. So it's great, I think, in this business to have people that you can refer out to, but that doesn't always mean that you're going to reap the benefits of that unless you find someone that you can be friends with and someone that really gets your values and wants to work with you as well.
Yeah, so it should go both ways, right?
Yes.
For sure. Okay, so you met. So let's talk about, let's go annually, first of all. So you have an annual meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, so take us through. So this is what I mean. This is what you've all got to get. This is more than just, relationship that, send me deals, I'll send you deals, that sort of thing. But it's formalized when you actually set goals together. So take us through that process.
Yeah, so once a year, her and I will meet up and we'll say, how many deals do we want to give each other this year? What are our routes and avenues that we're going to do to try and really push for each other to be their resource. So on her side, she's working through a bank. So obviously she's having people who come into the bank all the time and who don't have mortgage brokers already, who don't have real estate agents already. And they're saying to her, I'd like to work with the bank because I bank here. How can I proceed? She'll then from there ask them, do you have a realtor partner that you like? If you don't, I have someone I work exclusively with. I've worked with her in the past. She actually bought a property from me, and I've gotten a mortgage from her, so we know each other intimately in that way as well. Yeah. And from there, we can share experiences with both of our clients on both sides. So we'll talk about what we should say in those meetings with our prospective clients. We'll talk about, like I said, how many deals we want to get from each other that year, how many leads we want to get from each other that year. I run a team, so how many I want to give to the people on my team. I'll have members of my team actually meet with her as well so that they can kind of get their foot in the door and understand what her platform is and how she works with clients. So really just a team building meeting that you'd have whether you were working with other agents or you're working with a mortgage broker, stager, whatever. Just getting on the same page is, I think, extremely important.
Well, I think you said it. So you set a goal. Number one, let's set a goal. But then number two, you talk about the process. And now you sit down with, say, a first or any buyer for that matter. You're going to say, are you qualified? And they say, no, we're not. You can hook up with your mortgage broker. And then, of course, she does the same thing at the bank. So you've got a process, and then you exclusively refer each other?
Yes. There are times in both of our kind of everyday, I would say the times that she doesn't refer it to me is when it's outside the city,
Right.
because I mainly stay in Toronto. Sometimes I'll give that lead to someone on my team, but for the most part, she'll refer out in that case. And then with me, the times I won't give it to her would be if they have an interesting kind of mortgage dynamic, if they really want a broker because they're more of a rate hunter type person, and I
Right.
don't think they'll use her anyway, then I have a backup that I also do get leads from, just not far as much as I do with her.
Okay, so now we've established a relationship, we've got together, we've talked about goals. Now what I want you to talk about is during the year. Like, so how do you bring value? What do you do to develop that relationship throughout the year?
So the first thing I did was actually I added her to the LRS system,
Right.
which I think is extremely important with any relationship, whether it's a client or not. I think you should be adding all your tradespeople onto your LRS so that they can really feel like they're being taken care of.
Everybody get that? Add all of your partners onto your LRS, okay?
Yeah. So I have her on that, and I've had her on that since the beginning. She was blown away, wondering why I was even doing it, because she's like, I'm not a client of yours yet. Why am I getting these amazing gifts every month? So I think that's really important to make them feel valued.
Yeah.
The other way I do that is by having open lines of communication. So
Right.
obviously on both ends, we're going to get realtors and we're going to get mortgage brokers who want to work with us.
Right.
So telling each other when those things happen, telling each other, like for me, for example, I have a backup that I use, letting her know, hey, I couldn't give you this client, this is why I gave it to the backup.
Right.
I think in this business, people get really freaked out when they think that you are working with other people or going behind people's backs. So really creating a relationship and fostering a relationship where it's complete honesty and you both work in each other's best interest is
Yeah.
super important. And then we'll do bi-weekly calls where we'll actually just get on the phone and say, what's on your book right now? Who are you working with? Are any of them people that could potentially work with me as well? I'd say that sometimes as well, if I'm slow and she's busier, just that
Right.
phone call will get her to start thinking, maybe I could give her this person. Maybe I could try one more time to see if these clients would like jump and work with Ashley, and vice versa. So having those calls is great. And then I'd say maybe once a month or every other month, depending on our schedules, we'll just go for dinner and have a nice,
It's
nice
pretty
one.
cool, you think about it. So develop the relationship, don't rush it, make sure it's somebody that you have common values with, right? And that might take 6 months, a year. Who knows how long it's going to take. When you find that relationship, it's great. Then number 2, what you're going to do is you're going to sit down and have a conversation and talk about how we're going to do business together, what our goals are. Number 3, you're going to put them on the LRS, right? Number 4, you're going to have a scheduled call every 2 weeks, and then every month or so go out for dinner together.
Yep.
And that's pretty well the system, right?
Yep.
And I like the idea of the calls because, you get on a call with her, you start to think about, who could I find for her? And there might be a lead you've been dealing with that you never thought to get to her.
Exactly. And I'd say in some cases too, she'll be on the other end and she'll hear clients starting to get very frustrated with their process.
Yeah.
And obviously I can't, as a realtor, poach people that are under contract, but the way that she'll kind of talk to them is just, she'll do it for me and say, hey, listen, I know you're feeling upset with your current realtor.
Right.
When your contract ends, if you want me to put you in contact, I can.
Yeah.
Whatever. So it's just nice to have someone that's very much in your corner who really believes in you and vice versa. And I think you can't create that just by finding any old mortgage broker. So like my best advice to everyone is just really to take your time, and obviously you should be working with someone no matter what, but you're not always going to find that person right away. So be happy with the person you have now, but keep looking for that perfect one.
Well, it's not transactional, right?
No.
It's more of a transformational relationship where you're both better because of each other.
Yeah.
Right? So it says, how do you deal with the fact that mortgage brokers probably deals with hundreds of agents, but get them to send referrals to you? How do you stand out, basically?
So for me, it's literally just having that relationship with her. She has one other agent that she sends referrals to, but for the most part, it's all me. So yes, there are some mortgage brokers that are constantly sending out hundreds of referrals or maybe just a couple referrals to 2 or 3 agents. I would just say whenever you are going in for an interview or you're meeting with a mortgage broker, ask them how many people they're currently working with. See if they've already got a preferred partner, who that partner is, why they've chosen that partner. They'll tell you a lot. Like in some cases, it could just be location, right? Like they could say, I already work with someone that's downtown Toronto. That's why I work with them. But I don't have someone that works in Burlington, or I don't have someone that works in this area. So I think trying to find a way where you can be their person in the area you work is great, and by establishing a genuine connection.
Very good. What if you have a client that insists on using a recommended mortgage specialist, in brackets, especially if you have concerns about theirs and think yours is a better choice?
I reiterate, honestly, that I really like my mortgage broker, but I tell my my resource in that case, like, listen, I've pushed for you. They already have someone that they really like. I don't really like them, or I don't think they're the best choice, but like I can't do anything in that case. And because you are being upfront and honest with your partner, your mortgage partner, they understand and they're okay with that. And with her, I've never had an issue where she's been upset about me referring business out to someone other than her because she knows.
Are there any kickbacks in these types of relationships?
Nope.
No.
Definitely not.
Yeah, and I don't think there should be either. I think the best way to have a relationship is where just help each other build your business, become friends.
Yeah.
And what LRS system do you use? Ours. Who do you think? What LRS do you think she'd use? RIs.
I do use RIs. My LRS system has always kind of been more hands-off in terms of I'm not usually an events person because a lot of my clients come from different social circles, groups, etc., and therefore they don't always necessarily want to come to those. So the way that I do it is I just send a gift. So this month we're doing candles. Last month we did pumpkin pies. Just something different every month that I think that my clients and my demographic would like, and just go from there. So she's in on that one that the clients all get.
So you basically send a gift every month?
Yes.
Yes. How many people in your LRS?
I think 70 something.
Yeah.
The way that I've actually made this a little bit more affordable for me, which feel free to steal this idea, is we'll create vouchers off of Canva, which says, this month we're doing this. Please reply to this email if you'd like us to send you one. Because not everything's gonna work for every single person. And then that way as well, from that email, we get a little bit of a, hey, so nice to hear from you. I would love this, thank you so much. And it's not just, I'm sending out stuff without knowing whether or not you appreciate it. It gets us in front of the client more.
Very good idea. Well, you know, pumpkin pies, maybe people aren't home.
Yeah.
Maybe they're down south or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Ashley, what do you think? Show her some love, everybody. Great idea. Yeah, you don't get to hear them. It's a little weird, isn't it?
It is weird.
But they still look good.
They do. Oh, yeah.
They still
There's all
look
the
good up there.
screens.
Okay. Thank you, Ash.
No
Pleasure,
worries.
okay?